Hello, friends. We're live. What's going on? Good to see you all. Packed show today. Jeez, I don't know how it's only been a week because the second we stopped going live last Thursday, Wall Street Journal released some stuff about Trump and Epstein, and now we know, according to Wall Street Journal, that Trump was in the Epstein Files. So we're talking about that. The fascist who was platformed on the Jubilee Surrounded episode is now crying persecution because he lost his job, and so much more to get into on this episode. So we are live. I have forgotten my coffee. It's in the other room. So April, can you say hello while I go grab it real quick?
I will say hello. Hello, everybody. Welcome. Oh, Tim was attached to. Anyway, hi, everybody. Welcome to the show. I am April Ajoy. Tim's back. Wow, that was fast. You did it.
I can't hear you yet because my headphones
aren't. That's fine. Just to let everybody know, we have a producer today, Cassidy, who's usually in our ears behind the scenes, and she helps us keep track of when super chats come in and monitors the chat for everything. But anyway, she is producing for us today for the first time since Tim's going out on sabbatical. Is it sabbatical? Are we calling it that?
That is way too Christianese. Let's just call it a break.
It sounds like that's what it is, though.
I'm not going into the wilderness to find myself. No. I am taking a month off in August. The team has really insisted that I take a break. Our new executive director, Melinda Hale, has taken over a lot of the responsibilities that I would normally do. And it's been great. And she's like, look, take the month of August off. And that works out for me because we're moving into a new house in August anyway. So I will be, I'll be MIA from TNE and the Tim and April show for the month. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you will be very much missed, but we will continue on. Cassidy's going to help produce it. I will have a different guest host for every Thursday in August, and I am really excited about each and every one that's coming on. I'm going to leave it as a surprise. I guess I could advertise it, but I feel
why do that? Look, and I'm not trying to hype this up too much. Okay, I'm just going to say that you have some amazing guests I'm kind of jealous of. I'm like, dang, I would love to be on these lives, but no, it's going to be really good. I got to say, it's a little weird for me to be not producing because usually I'm like doing 10 different things at once, and all of a sudden I'm doing nothing. I'm just talking to you, and Cassidy is handling it. So friends, if you hear me or April saying stop during a video or something, we're just telling our producer when to pause the video. We're not yelling at each other or yelling at you. So yeah, this is Cassidy's first time producing. So thanks, Cassidy, for putting in all the work. And I'm looking forward to today's show. It should be I don't know. It's going to be another intense one because so many things have happened so quickly. Yeah. It's so hard to keep up. So hard.
Yeah. And I do want to say too, before we get into our show, which again is jam-packed, as we've mentioned, something cool happened yesterday. There is a little docu-series that is on Amazon Prime called Shiny Happy People, and they just released season 2 on Wednesday of this week. Oh yeah, there is a picture of me.
Nice job, Cassidy. Look at that. Flowed right in.
Wow, that was Cassidy's on top of it. Yeah, so so if you want to watch it, I am actually have a small part in this documentary. I'm in the first couple episodes, so which was really cool and weird to watch myself in a docuseries. But it's really good. It's about teen mania and kind of youth group culture of the 90s and 2000s, and just kind of how that extreme rhetoric leads and has led to Christian nationalism that we see today. So I feel like it was really well done, and I think will shine a lot of light on what we're seeing today. And then this coming Monday, our Monday episode, we'll actually be going deeper into teen mania, and we'll have another guest from the Shiny Happy People documentary. So you should watch Shiny Happy People, and then you'll be ready for our show on Monday for a little deeper dive.
April, can I just say, in all seriousness, congratulations for being featured on that show. That is a big deal. Like, it's a very cool thing that the work you've been doing for so long has led to you being recognized and being on a show like that. I mean, it's just very cool. That had to be such a cool experience for you too, being in like a real production that was going to be aired on like a major streaming service. That's just a very cool thing. Like, congrats.
Thank you. It was very cool and also nerve-wracking at the same time. Because you never like they interview. Go ahead.
Yeah, tell. No, I was gonna ask. Can you share anything without just without like breaking an if you had to sign an NDA? Can you share anything about like behind the scenes or how many
Yeah.
hours you were there or anything like that?
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure we'll go into more detail on our Monday episode, but so I flew to Atlanta. I did sign an NDA, so I wasn't allowed to talk about it at all. I didn't even tell you, Tim,
I know.
and
I
you were
know.
like, you're like, "Why are you going to Atlanta?" I was like, "Can't tell you. I signed a thing." Um, but yeah, so I flew to Atlanta, met a couple other people that were being interviewed this at the same time. So they shot everything in Atlanta. They rented a house there. My interview was 4 hours long.
Wow. Wow.
And I think that was pretty average for all the interviews. And so when you
Mm.
watch the season, you'll see how little of my interview made it in. But it's fascinating. They had a huge job editing that whole thing together.
Yeah, I can only imagine the amount of work it took. I'm looking forward. I'm going to watch a few episodes today, and I'm looking forward to our guests that we're going to have on Monday's episode talking about it. So yeah, very cool stuff. Well, congrats. I mean
Yeah.
that's a cool experience for sure, and I'm looking forward to watching it. The season 1 of Shiny Happy People was when I first ran into Paula Morgan for the first time. So
Ah.
that was the first time. I'm like, who are these
Yeah, didn't
people?
they I feel like they made a video afterwards that was like, "Shiny happy people lied to us."
Oh, they did. They did. They were not happy about it. But anyway, that's for a different
Yeah.
discussion for a different time. But yeah, it was a cool experience. So well, that's very cool. That's awesome. Oh wait, we got a super chat. I saw it come in. We have to read that because we read all super chats live on the air. This is from Deanna Much. It says, "Happy Thursday. Keep up the good work. Tim, enjoy your month off. Rest is so important. April, I started watching Shiny Happy People. It's so good." Thank you, Deanna, for the super chat.
Thank
Oh,
you.
let me just say this, friends. We are going to play a few clips. Well, we're going to play at least one clip of this Jubilee video that went around. And Jubilee is notoriously, what's a nice way of putting this? Effective in demonetizing any channel, even if we're under a nonprofit and it's under fair use and it's totally legal. They will demonetize us for sharing this video. So I don't say this often, but truly during this live, any super chats will really help us cover the production expenses it takes to make the show, because we're most definitely going to be demonetized after this episode because we're talking about Jubilee and sharing one of their small clips. So thank you in advance for all super chats. Make sure to give this video a like. We are live right now. We go live every Thursday at 12 o'clock Eastern here on YouTube, and this episode will make it to podcast the following day on Friday. So thanks for being here. It means the world.
Yeah, thanks everyone. Well, speaking of Jubilee, do we want to dive in to
Yeah.
that mess? So, I mean, we have a lot to get to. So,
Yep.
if you are online a lot, as we are, you've probably seen clips going around from Jubilee. And Jubilee, is their whole thing just to throw people in a room and have them debate? Is that like, what's their mission?
So, okay. So here's the thing. Jubilee's been around for a long time. And actually, I watched a lot of their content before they started this Surrounded series. They have a bunch. If you go to their YouTube channel, they have a ton of different kinds of series, like Guess the Atheist in the room out of all these Christians. Like they do all these different kinds of like things. The Surrounded series started with Charlie Kirk about 10 months ago. That was the first test run they did, where it was Charlie in the middle of a room surrounded by 20 progressives. That video did 30 million views, which obviously, look, we're YouTube creators. We look at our views, right? If something does really well, we're like, well, I guess people want more of that, right? So they started this series, and they've had a combination of progressives in this circle, or right-wing commentators in the circle. They even did one. Actually, my favorite one that they did was over sports. They had a legendary sports commentator debate people about different stats and different like claims in sports. It's actually very fun to watch, and the tone is so different. The tone is so much more enjoyable than what we're used to seeing. So most recently, they did a Surrounded featuring Mehdi Hassan, who's a progressive journalist, and honestly, who's really, I mean, he's incredibly smart. He has his degree from Oxford, I believe, and he has written a book on debates. And he was under the pretense that he was going to debate like 20 far-right conservatives. And it turned out like Jubilee got some legitimate white nationalist fascists on the debate that kind of was like very startling to watch. And what's happening now online is there's another debate happening over the effectiveness of doing these kinds of formats, on social media. I'm going to give my TLDR really quick, because I did a whole live on this on TNE's channel last night. People can watch my more in-depth personal opinion. I will say this. I do think that overall, especially with the rise of fascism, living in America with the strong First Amendment, we have to be able to take these ideas head on and dismantle them. So I agree with the premise of like having the debate. However, what Jubilee is doing is not real debate. The format does not lend itself to a real debate where you can really get into the nuance. The format is more like a WWE cage match. It's like junk food. It's like fast food. And so what happens is that all these clips start going viral, which reinforces Jubilee's measure of success, right? Oh, people are watching this. But what they're watching is not a debate. And it just becomes this like this farming of clips for both sides to prove how they own the other side. I will say, though, anyone who is not a fascist would watch this quote unquote debate and watch how Mehdi completely dismantles and demolishes the propaganda and exposes the anti-intellectualism of these far-right fascists. I mean, they're all over the place. Nothing makes sense. But that being said, I don't think Jubilee, regardless of what they think they're doing internally, I don't think that they're really helping, push the needle forward in good faith, frankly. That's my take on it.
Real quick, before I forget, we have a new super chat. Hold on, let me find it. Super chat from Aceman52. Congratulations, April. I thoroughly enjoy watching the work you and Tim are doing. I hope that more opportunities open up for you in the future. Thank you so much. That means a lot. Oh, and another one from Cinders. Thank you from Finland, the woke Mormon. Yay, that's so fun. Thank you.
I spent a month in Rovaniemi, Finland. I had a great time. It was beautiful.
Nice. Okay, one thing I was going to say on your topic about Jubilee is there's this saying that my dad used to always say, and I feel like it applies to this Jubilee situation.
Okay.
But when we talk about like getting in debates with certain types of people or getting into arguments with different people, my dad would say, hey, listen, a raccoon can get in a fight with a skunk, and even if the raccoon wins, he still comes out smelling like a skunk.
Wow. That's true. That's true.
And I just think, like, I feel like at a certain point, like, there are certain things that we shouldn't be debating, like people's humanity, for instance. And when you are
exactly
dating a fascist, I feel like even going into a debate with them almost like validates their position as a a genuine way of thinking. But it's also I think it's important in the sense that there's a lot of people that are like, oh, it's not that bad. There's not really people that think that way, that are Christians. So on that hand, it's good to expose that for the people that are like, no, these people feel very comfortable in white Christian nationalism and in evangelicalism. But I don't know what good is coming of it.
I do wrestle with this because, and here's the thing though, like the society we live in has a very strong First Amendment. So these people aren't going to be arrested or they're not going to be like censored in the sense like the government saying you can't say this stuff. It's just not how our society functions. So in a society like that, I don't know if pushing those people farther underground like does anything, but also I don't know if exposing them and giving them a huge platform with 15 plus million views is going to also solve the problem, right? Because there are a lot of, here's the reason why I say that. The right-wing media conglomerate machine is really robust and is really effective at of making like lifestyle creators become a funnel into the far right ideology, right? So it's just very easy for people, it seems like especially young men, to get sucked into like, oh, I like this guy's workout routines. I like how he talks about, personal responsibility. And a few clicks later, you're introduced to Andrew Tate. And a few clicks later, you're introduced to something on 4chan. And then you find these guys who are on this Jubilee video, right? So I'm not an expert here. I don't have the best answer. One thing I will say after watching Mehdi talk to Tim from the Bulwark, and Bulwark, that I thought was really insightful was two things. One, de-radicalization is very rare once you're radicalized. It's very rare for people to de-radicalize. It happens, but it's rare. And number two, and Tim made this point, I don't want to have another Holocaust before we all recognize the danger of fascism. Like that's what scares me is there are a lot of white evangelical moderates that I either engage with online or that I know personally who will see this Jubilee video. And what they'll say is oh, well, these are just really extreme positions. This is fringe. Right. But they really fail to realize that like this is deeply embedded in the MAGA world. Lest we forget, April, that Donald Trump got dinner with Holocaust denier Nick Fuentes. Like, he sat down with them. Marjorie Taylor Greene went to one of his rallies a couple of years ago and spoke there. These people are not that far removed from the general MAGA sentiment of deportations, of make America safe, get rid of the brown-skinned people. That's what they're doing here. And I really struggle with the best way to combat that, you know? I really do.
Yeah. Yeah, we should definitely get into these clips. I do want to break some news that I've seen some people say in the chat, and then I just confirmed it. Hulk Hogan died.
Wow.
This morning.
Oh, goodness.
It says suffering cardiac arrest is what happened. So.
Wow. Okay. Well, you know,
it's just a lot of people were talking about it, so I was like, oh,
yeah,
I need to
no,
see if
thanks
that's
for letting
true.
me know. I mean, I'll be honest. The only version of Hulk Hogan I really know is the character he played in Three Ninjas, High Noon at Mega Mountain, a classic, movie from my childhood. But then, obviously, watching him go down the MAGA path was disheartening to say the least. But still, for his family, condolences. That is always tragic when you lose a father or a friend. So that's tragic.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
All right. Sorry. Didn't mean to
I don't want to like move on. Like, well, all right, moving on.
I know. It feels weird. Like,
why don't we get to this clip?
Yeah. Let's get to the clip.
All right. So what I did, friends, is I did pull this like 3.5 minute long video of one of the people who spoke at this Jubilee thing. His name is Connor, and he essentially lost his job. Okay. From going on this show, and he went on another far right show to kind of complain about it. I want to play this clip, the first maybe like minute and a half. I'm going to tell Cassie to kind of pause throughout because there's parts that April and I want to respond to, but I do think that this really will be a good indicator of just kind of the ideology that was platformed here with Jubilee. So take a listen.
I frankly don't care being called a Nazi at all.
I didn't say that. I didn't actually say that. I said, are you a fan of the Nazis?
Well, they persecuted the church a little bit. I'm not a fan of that. But
what about the persecution of the Jews?
Well, I mean, I certainly don't support anyone's human dignity being assaulted. I'm a Catholic.
But you don't condemn Nazi persecution of the Jews?
I think that there was a little bit of persecution and stuff like that, which is bad.
We may have to rename this show because you're a little bit more than a far-right Republican.
Hey, what can I say?
I think you could say I'm a fascist.
Yeah, I am.
All right, pause.
Smiling now. When I saw that, man, I was
pause there.
Confused.
So really quick, I just want to really reiterate what happened in this clip from between Mehdi and this guy named Connor. Mehdi asked him what is a very simple question, like, do you essentially, denounce the Holocaust as a bad thing? And Connor really doesn't. Like, he kind of skirts around the issue. And I just want to acknowledge how bare bones of a question that is. Like, it doesn't matter if you are right wing, left wing, if you are atheist, Christian, Muslim, it doesn't matter. Like, it's a unified reality that the Holocaust is one of the greatest human travesties of our lifetime, or of our recent historical moment. And the fact that Connor didn't really denounce it emphatically and kind of downplayed it should freak us all out. And then when Mehdi calls him out for being a fascist, he fully embraces it. And part of this clip that they didn't play was this guy Connor citing a Nazi writer and as a good thing. So like, this guy is clearly reading Nazi literature, clearly doesn't think the Holocaust is that big of a deal. And so that's the setup for what we're going to walk into between the person on the screen you're seeing, friends, is Elijah Schaffer. Just some quick context. He used to be on the Blaze Network. I think he was either let go or he left. Elijah Schaffer is someone who has tweeted reasons why you shouldn't interracial marry and have interracial children. So this guy really is a far-right white nationalist. And so keep that in mind. That's the show that Connor's going on. Let's play a few seconds of this. And April, if you hear some stuff that you want to respond to too, just let me know. But there's a lot here that I think is worth unpacking.
I was like, I think that guy's, is he trying to get fired? Because I know today that almost every job, every sector has been inundated with these just DEI bullshit. And they allow you to believe anything you want except for things that are stringently right-wing, Christian, or heterosexual, orthodoxy.
Absolutely.
And you are in some serious trouble in your personal life over this. Am I right?
That is correct.
What happened?
Well, unfortunately, I lost my job as a result, and no one really is to blame for that. It's just the culture that kind of exists currently surrounding the manner in which you're canceled for voicing exactly what you said, any heterosexual Christian sort of moral belief that goes.
Yeah, we need to point out that denying or downplaying the Holocaust and admitting you're a fascist is not a typical or a common Christian or heterosexual belief. Like the categorical errors that he's making intentionally, it's a tool of propaganda, right? Connor wants to come across as like, guys, I'm just espousing like heterosexual Christian beliefs here. Like, no, you're not, Connor. You're downplaying the Holocaust.
This is the exact same playbook that all Christian nationalists use. White evangelicals, mega church pastors. Anytime you see someone that is calling you out for something harmful, they immediately turn it into persecution. Oh, it was just I was just being a good Christian. I was just stating Christian beliefs, and that's why I lost my job. Seeing it again too with you see, like, even like Teen Mania, what right now with Shiny Happy People, there's a lot of people that are equating the fact that the new docuseries exists is persecution. And so they're like review bombing it right now on IMDb and Rotten Tomatoes.
Oh my gosh.
So as a sidebar, if you want to go rate it positively, that would be helpful. But it's all part of the same playbook where there's no accountability. Like
zero.
Oh, there's nothing wrong with me just being a good Christian, except for the fact that you're downplaying the Holocaust that completely dehumanizes Jewish people. And that rhetoric exists today. Like anti-Semitism is still a thing that is very dangerous.
Yeah. By the way, last thing I'll say here, then we'll move on. Isn't this a free country, Connor? Aren't these the same people who will say businesses have a right to discriminate against queer people? Right? Hey, a baker shouldn't be forced to make a cake for a gay marriage ceremony. And here is Connor crying because of that same ideology being used against him. Right? This employer saw him on Jubilee, saw him quoting Nazi writers, saw him downplaying the Holocaust, and said, you know what? This is probably bad for business, rightfully so. And what's Connor do? No personal responsibility, right? There's no picking yourself up by your own bootstraps. Instead, this guy turns to socialism. He goes to Give, Send, Go, asking people to pay him money for losing his job. Like, I'm sorry, doesn't that kind of defeat your worldview, Connor?
He's taking out a handout.
Yeah,
honestly, though, the guy in the beginning, he brought up an interesting point. Elijah, yeah. Is this man trying to get fired? I wonder if he did that intentionally to get fired, because he's made more money on this Give, Send, Go in the last week than he would have made at his job. I mean, I don't know what he did for work. I would assume he's made more. Real quick before we go in, we have another super chat that I don't want to.
Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
Forget. From Mercedes Ibarra. Says, hi, I grew up Catholic and am an interfaith minister. I love watching because I learned so much about the Christian nationalist movement destroying our democracy. Keep up the great work. Love from LA. Thank you so much.
Thank you,
Mercedes.
I want to make 2 points here. So first off, Give, Send, Go is a Christian crowdfunding site. Of course, this site would allow a literal Nazi sympathizer to raise money. So here's what Connor says in his description. My name is Connor, and April, you're the expert here. You read things so well. Do you want to read this one in your typical April way?
Yeah, let me pull it up on my screen, though, because that's really small. I'll get it.
While you're doing that, I'll say, we purposely, friends, did not want to screenshot some of the messages of people who were giving money.
So hateful.
Let's just say they were incredibly racist, they were incredibly anti-Semitic, they were incredibly hateful, and they were incredibly white. And again, this comes to you from a Christian crowdfunding website.
Okay.
Yes, thank you, Emily, for clarifying. Connor is Catholic, and that is important to note here.
Yeah, and there are a lot of Catholics. There are a lot of Catholics that are emerging within Christian nationalism too, because Christian nationalism is less about theological beliefs and more about political identity and being on the right side of the culture war.
Right.
Regardless, that's another topic. Okay, I have it pulled up here. I also just want to say too, his goal on Give, Send, Go was 15,000, and as of right now, on Thursday afternoon, he's more than doubled that and has raised $37,751.
Yep.
Whew. Also, Give, Sin, Go. I don't know if you all remember the white woman who called a little black kid at a playground the N-word. Was that last year?
Yeah,
I don't remember when
it
that
was this year. Oh, it was this
Is
year.
it this
She raised
year?
almost $1 million, by the way. $800,000
Yeah.
on Give, Send, Go.
And she used Give, Send, Go to do it. And
Yep.
and Give, Send, Go came under fire during that time. And they doubled down and said some
Double
kind
down.
of Christian-y thing of like, well, we just need to help everybody. And it doesn't matter
It's
if they're
unbelievable.
literal fascists because now they're helping this guy. Okay. This is what he says, right? It says, fired for my political beliefs. My name is Connor, and I was recently shown in the latest Jubilee episode. As a result, unfortunately, I was subsequently released from my job. I'm raising money as an emergency fund and for other expenses while I look for a new job. Unfortunately, voicing fully legal traditional right-wing political views results in real consequences. This is cancel culture and political discrimination on full display. I just went on the Rift TV where I shared my story of what happened, and you can watch it here. I will be guesting on a podcast tomorrow, Rift TV on Rumble, YouTube. Well, read more, where I will be reading off the names and donations to say a verbal thank you to all of you who gave. Tonight, I'll also read off the names of a ton of people who already gave on that same show.
The rest is just
Wow,
nonsense.
he's talking
It's just-
about. Oh,
yeah.
apparently he has impersonators now, which
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm just so heartbroken for this man. I'm just
Oh. the poor baby went
Oh,
on
thoughts and
a
prayers.
YouTube show and
Thoughts and prayers.
said he was
I'll
a
just pray for him.
fascist, and then people didn't
I-
want to be around him because he's a fascist. Boo hoo.
Poor little man. Okay, let's keep going with this video because there's more to get to here. That is just really, and the point of playing this couple minutes here is to point out the blatant twisting of data, the propaganda that fascism espouses. It's so important, folks, that you learn how to interpret the words that come out of their mouth, because Connor's never going to say on the air, yeah, I think Jews are controlling everything and should be, and they should go away. He's never going to say, I think that, all brown-skinned people should be put in concentration camps. He's never going to say that. He'll say it in his own language.
Yeah.
Let's keep going.
Beyond sort of the secularism and the relativism that we're so used to in our time. And so that's what I set out to do with Mehdi. He asked me, do you condemn the Holocaust? It's like, well, of course I condemn persecution of anyone, Jews included. I'm a Catholic. I don't believe in persecuting anyone. But I'm not going to play your game of let's reference the Holocaust, because that's a loaded question. What you're trying to do there is you're trying to insinuate that worldview is going to lead to genocide, chaos, and destruction. But as you said, we see so many regimes where that's exactly the opposite. I mean, look at what's going on in El Salvador right now. The streets are clean. It is a paradise in Central America and really South America for that perspective. They went from being one of the most dangerous countries with MS-13 to one of the safest and cleanest countries, all because they had, a centralized police force, government willing to enforce the law and willing to actually lay down.
Yeah, thank you, Cassie. Pause here. Okay, wow, so many things. First off, the Holocaust is not a loaded conversation. We know what happened. Okay, we know what happened, and we know how fascism in Hitler's Germany brought on the Holocaust. Like, we have unlimited amounts of documentation of how this happened. Now, I want to point out that he goes to El Salvador, which is such a classic fascist move. To be clear, El Salvador's poverty rate as of 2023, so about a year and a half ago, is 30%. 30%. And the crime statistic that this guy quotes, while it is technically true, it's raised serious concerns about the lack of due process people have been given and the civil rights violations that were given that were done to people through the process. The leader of El Salvador dubs himself the world's coolest dictator. This is who Connor is talking about and bragging about. El Salvador is not something you want to model your country after, especially, again, with a 30% poverty rate. And also, I want to say, crime in America has been on a steady decline for quite some time now. I mean, anyone who has Google can Google crime rates throughout American history. And from the 1980s on, largely, there's been some spikes. I mean, there was a spike during COVID, et cetera, but largely it's been on the way down. The last thing I want to say here, again, you have to learn how to interpret the propaganda. Think about who Connor probably voted for. A convicted felon, a man who broke the law, a man who skirts around the law, a man who incited insurrection, causing his supporters to literally bring a noose to the Capitol grounds in an attempt to hang the vice president. Okay? these men try and talk all polished and like reasonable. They are not reasonable. They are extremists. They are absolutely okay with denying the significance and the reality of things like the Holocaust. They intentionally, or they're just stupid, twist data points, or they cite other countries that they think are so amazing that actually aren't. These people are. This is why they're so dangerous, because the average person. Whoa, it's me by myself. I must be really ranting. Thanks, Cassidy. Just a last thought that I'll get back to this, but like, these folks live in an alternate reality, and the reality they want to live in is one where they are privileged and everyone else is underneath of them. And Connor says that in the debate. If you watch the full segment between Mehdi and Connor, he says that he's all about voting to get an autocrat into office and then taking votes away and taking away voting from everyone else, because that autocrat would then serve his interests. This guy says he wants the Constitution dismantled during the debate. These people are so freaking dangerous. And what scares me is how they go they're undervalued in their extremism by the moderate, right wing, in particular Christian world. But this is real stuff, guys. Like, you have to know what's going on here. And for Connor to go on this show and claim persecution, it's just unbelievable. It's unbelievable.
Yeah. I also want to point out, too, that some people were saying that there's rumors going on that Connor actually just lost his job in January. And I haven't been able to confirm that. I will say Forbes released that the company VUp, which is a cloud engineering firm, confirmed to Forbes that Connor was a subtractor and that his employment was not terminated by VUp, but by whoever the contractor.
Oh, so he's a subcontractor for a larger company?
That's according to Forbes. Yes.
Honestly, I would not be surprised at all if Connor was let go before all of this and is using this to grift, because, again, these people are grifters. Look at the right-wing MAGA world. Trump is a grifter. The man launched his own cryptocurrency that grifted his own base. Oh, my God. Anyway, I have to stop ranting. I'm taking up too much time. I'm just trying to really be emphatic here. These people are extreme. They hold extreme views, and they're becoming more and more emboldened to do it on YouTube in front of millions of people.
Well, and this is the root of white Christian nationalism that we see today. Most people are not going to be as blatant as Connor is, but that is what, if you follow the through line of that belief system, it leads to straight up fascism. That's where that leaves it. He is just espousing what that belief system will lead to if you follow it the way you're supposed to follow it, which should really shine a light on just the dangers of white Christian nationalism, and then the white evangelicalism that lets Christian nationalists and fascists feel welcome within their churches.
Yep. Let's go back to that video. There's a few more clips I want to pull, and then we'll move on to other topics. But I just think it's really important here, because he's going to bring the God language in here in a second, and it's important to hear how they use it.
A moral structure to their society, not being scared of what, journalists or other fogies like to say.
But you got fired from a legitimate job that provided well because of your political views that are not illegal. How does that make you feel?
Frankly, kind of destroyed. I put a lot of pride in the work that I do. I try to treat everyone with a level of respect and love and decency.
No, you don't, you liar.
And
liar.
Many might say, "Oh,
full of shit.
You say that, but you're actually this evil guy behind closed doors." No, I'm a guy who is looking at our society being torn apart by just kind of the lack of rule of law, the lack of meaning in people's lives. Frankly, let's just get to the heart of it, the lack of God in people's lives. And I say enough at this point. I mean, why is it that we have to live in a society where people
are so infuriating?
Yeah.
How can you even bring God into it and be like, no, I'm such a nice guy. I try to treat everyone with respect. There was nothing respectful of that, even his exchange that we watched on Jubilee.
Madness. It is the cognitive dissonance of these fascists, and that's what they are, because he called himself one. So I'm going to call him what he wants to be called, a fascist. It's unbelievable how self-deluded they are, right? These are the people who love that Trump is going after college campuses, love that Trump is suing, news networks because he doesn't like how they're acting with free speech. They cheer that on. But the second they get a tinge of consequences for their own speech, oh, poor me. Oh my God. Oh, look at guys, I've been persecuted for my political beliefs. Yeah, because you're denying the Holocaust, you fascist. I mean, I have no sympathy for these people. I hope they wake up and smell the roses, but statistically speaking, they're not going to. So all they can do is be opposed as strongly as possible in any way to shame them for their horrific beliefs that have given rise to the slaughter of 6 million Jewish people should absolutely not be fucked around with. I know I dropped the F word, but seriously, we got to use strong language to understand this. I mean, the Holocaust was one of the greatest human travesties maybe in human history, arguably. Okay, the things that Hitler did to Jewish people is unreal. And here's the thing. People think that Hitler ran on a campaign since day one of put the Jews in concentration camps. That's not what happened. Hitler started really small. You know, oh, well, Jewish people are doing bad things. Oh, they shouldn't be welcomed here. It grew over time as people got more and more used to the propaganda from the Nazi regime to eventually believe that the Jewish people were responsible. The minority group in Germany was responsible for all the problems in Germany. Does that sound familiar? Why do you think that MAGA is going after 0.6% of the population known as our transgender neighbors? Why do you think the whole freaking America populace is obsessed with trans women and women's sports? Because they want you to think about how the problems that they are causing is really due to the transgender person who's just trying to survive, or the immigrant who's just trying to get here through the legal process. This is how fascism works, friends. While literally Trump and his big beautiful bill guts the middle and lower class financially, robs SNAP benefits and social safety nets from people who need it most, and transfers that wealth to the upper class, he wants you to think that the 18-year-old trans woman trying to compete in a triathlon is the reason why you can't get affordable wages, why we're going down the tubes, or why the immigrant with their family who's going through the legal process should be arrested and put in a concentration camp with no damn due process. This is why April and I and so many others are just shouting from the rooftop that it's not about fascism is a threat. Fascism is here. And it's carrying a cross, and it's carrying an American flag. It is absolutely killing our neighbors.
Yeah.
It's killing our neighbors. It's crazy. Jesus Christ. It's wild.
I know.
It's wild that
I
we're
know.
here.
And that is what, I mean, we're just seeing the beginnings of this, and it will get worse unless we stop it.
I hate talking like this, April. I hate the notion that like I'm mad at other people. I don't like having tension in my life. I don't like making enemies. I don't like even being harsh towards people. Like anyone who knows me personally knows like how much I try and see the nuance in things. But my God, like we have to draw a line somewhere. And when people are denying the Holocaust, we have to say absolutely freaking not. No.
And can I just say too, Connor is definitely part of the problem. But I don't think Connor is the biggest problem. The biggest problem are mainstream evangelicals like Allie Beth Stuckey and Megan Basham, who made it their personal crusade last week to try to cancel Chip and Joanna Gaines for merely just featuring a gay couple on their show in a normal human light. And I maybe they have, but I have not seen a peep out of them condemning this fascism. Because here you have someone like Connor who is saying that his views that support Nazis, that is fascist, line up with his Christian views. And they're not condemning that. That is the biggest problem that we're facing right now, is you have so many Christians that are refusing to call out actual harm. They call out everything except for stuff that is actually harming fellow human beings. And it's
100%.
infuriating.
That's why we're so angry.
We do have another
we
super
have two.
chat, though.
I think we have two that came in, actually.
Oh.
I think two came in. I think one came in from, I don't think we read this one, from Groovy Tim. Thank you, Groovy Tim. Great name. New movie about Maximilian Kolbe, Triumph of the Heart. and A Hidden Life. Anointed. I wish Rich Mullins and Rick Elias were still here. Thank you so much for the super chat. Friends, as we said earlier, this video will most definitely be demonetized because we just played a Jubilee video. So any super chats, especially during this live, really help cover the production costs it is to make this video. So thank you for the help. And we also got this super chat here. If I can get to it. Oh, my screen froze. Can you see it?
I gotta say, that is so hard for me to read.
I can't
read that at all. You can?
I got it. Yeah. Super chat from Angel Hortoris, if I said that correctly. Remember the film American History X? It was so on the fringe. Watching now, different story. It does show example of de-radicalization. Greetings from Puerto Rico. Hey, thank you so much for the super chat. Means the world. Absolutely. Yeah, April, we're going to move on to other topics, but just to wrap this thing up, you're exactly right. The fact that Megan Basham, Ali Stuckey, all these other mega church pastors are all upset at Chip and Joanna Gaines for literally having a gay couple on their TV show, and they're not going to say a damn thing about actual fascists who claimed the mantle of God and Christianity and moral values, denying the Holocaust, should show you how absolutely damn rotten right-wing media spaces are. Like, guys, just, oh my God. Like, hello? Anyone home?
They're so freaking dramatic about it too. They're like, this is progressives are ruining Christianity. Christianity will die with progressives. I'm like, no. How about the fact that y'all are celebrating like an alligator concentration camp in Florida and aren't calling that out at all?
And they wonder why
you're calling us, who are calling it out, saying that we have toxic empathy. It's so stupid. It's infuriating, but it's so stupid.
In fact, I just checked. Ali Stuckey still has the pinned tweet from July 13th about Chip and Joanna Gaines on her Twitter profile.
Of all the things that are going on in the world, Ali Beth is like, Chip and Joanna are the most important thing that I should be talking about right now. Pinned on the Twitter feed.
Look, I only got 2 more lives left before I take a break, so I'm going to be a little unfiltered here, but just, Ali, like, piss off. Like, just piss off. Like, just get the fuck out of here. Like, you're ridiculous. I take these people, they're so disingenuous, it's so obvious, and they make so much money from it. Anyway, okay, this is not ranting with Tim and April, but you get my point, friends. It's ridiculous.
We do have another super chat from
thank
Deanna. Much says they should just at least say that MAGA means make America Gilead already. Ooh, for real. As an MD, I'm so worried how the big budget bill is going to hurt healthcare. That actually is a great segue into one story so we're now entering what we're calling a mini segment, which is going to include a lot of stories in one. And we were going to just like, oh gosh, we got to cut stuff because we are going to get to Epstein and the weird Obama conspiracies that are floating around. But we didn't want to ignore some really big things that are also happening. So one thing that's happening, healthcare related, there was a woman in Tennessee. Do we have that video?
Yeah, we should have
I feel like we should just play the video.
Cassidy is on it. I mean, boom.
I love having a producer.
Cassidy, you're killing it. I gotta say, I love being hands-free. This is really great.
I gotta say too, she put you on the one screen at the perfect time because I had to sneeze. It was like she knew, so I was able to like achoo where no one could see. It was like miraculous, man.
Wow, this is great.
Yeah. Okay, so so this woman, she went really viral. This is out. I believe it's a town hall in Tennessee.
Yeah. She asked to have her face blurred out, which people did. Also, thank you for the super chat, BB Gems. Thank you, Tim and April. Love your channel. Keep up the great work. Friends, if you're just joining, all super chats will help us cover this production because we're definitely getting demonetized thanks to promoting Jubilee here. And also, do us a favor. It costs you nothing. Give this video a like. It would help get it out to more people on the YouTube algorithm.
Absolutely. Okay, let's watch this video.
Let's do it.
I just found out that I'm pregnant again. I've been with my partner for about 15 years, though we're not married. I just had my first visit, and that provider told me that thanks to that act, they were not comfortable treating me because I am an unwed mother, and that goes against their Christian values. I'm lucky enough to live in a part of the state where I can seek care across state lines. And that's what I'm doing, traveling to Virginia for my prenatal care, scared out of my mind that I will go into labor and not be able or have to deliver in this state with a provider who feels that that child's life is more valuable than mine. While we do love and want this child, I also have a 13-year-old, and I can't leave her behind. I call Marsha's office twice a day.
Woo-hoo.
I'm either blocked or she has all calls going directly to voicemail. I've never even reached a staffer. And when I contacted Bill Haggerty's office, I was told that he's not obligated to listen to his constituents. Love that. I'm not really sure why my taxes are paying.
It's a longer video, and I know the audio is kind of hard to hear, friends. So just to TLDR, this woman is pregnant. She's been with her partner for 15 years, but they're not married. And her doctor denied her prenatal care, citing the Medical Ethics Defense Act and stating that it goes against their Christian values. So there you go.
And so
that's the story.
that is an act that exists. It allows Tennessee healthcare providers, including individuals, institutions, and insurers, to refuse to participate in or pay for medical services that conflict with their personal or religious views.
Wow.
Can we also just point out how absolutely hypocritical it is that you have a woman who is not getting an abortion, is choosing to have a baby, which is what conservative Christians claim is what they want to happen, right? She's choosing to do what in their mind is the right thing. And that provider still said, sorry, you had sex outside of marriage. This baby's out of wedlock. That goes against my religious beliefs. So I'm not going to help you take care and give you prenatal care, health care for the health of this baby. It's so infuriating. And this just goes to the shame that so many women feel in the evangelical church. Not just, whoa, that threw me off.
I know. It's jarring to see yourself pop up.
I know. But it shows the shame that so many women feel in the evangelical church that they choose to do the right thing and then are shamed for it. I can't tell you how many times when I went to Christian colleges, like Beecher worked at and I worked at a Christian college a few years ago, where a girl was pregnant and she got kicked out of the school, like just a few weeks before she was supposed to graduate, or just a few weeks before the semester. So she, like, totally threw her into a bind because she chose to keep the baby. Like, if she would have just gone and had an abortion, they would have never known. Like, their own stupid piety is pushing people to do the thing that they claim is like the worst thing in the world. It's so hypocritical and it's so dehumanizing. And purity culture is a big part of play, where you're convinced yourself that women, their sole worth is in whether or not they're virgins when they get married, and then their sole worth is in whether or not they can produce children after they're married. It is so objectifying of women, and this is proof that it's not about abortion and it's not about saving babies. It is 100% about controlling women.
Yep. No, preach. You are, I mean, I have no notes. You are 100% on the money. 100%. It's not even pro-birth, right? It is about control 100%. And it's gross. And again, you can thank, I'm going to say it until I'm blue in the face, the day I die. You can thank, in part, mostly white Christian evangelicals. They are the most, they're the largest voting bloc where Christian nationalism is most concentrated. They hold these views of sex before marriage being sinful. This is what they want. This is what they voted for, so to speak, and they brag about it. They absolutely want Christian privilege, because we all know, April, we know that if a Muslim doctor denied a white Christian woman prenatal care for citing whatever religious belief, Ali Stuckey, Charlie Kirk, Matt Walsh would be up in arms about why why Muslims need to go. They don't like our values. It's not about religious freedom. It's about white Christian privilege. Okay? And by the way, if a Muslim doctor did do that, I would fully denounce it and be against that, because doctors are not supposed to be discriminating healthcare based on their personal beliefs, religious beliefs, whatever. That's not why you're in that field, okay? We live in a secular society. We have to make room for each other. Hard stop. So don't misunderstand. I wouldn't be cheering on that doctor if that was the case. We're just making the point that we know how up in arms Billy Graham or Franklin Graham would be over that. because it's about the privilege. Thank you. Wow, 2 super chats came in. One from Bob, keep up the good work, and one from Allison. Thank you so much, guys, for the super chats. They really help us out.
We also had another one from Queer as Trans from earlier that came through.
I must have missed that.
Yeah. It is so exhausting to just. I need women. I need the Megan Bashams of the world to understand that they're not going to pick her. If Christian nationalists get their way, they want white men in power, period. They don't want women. Even women that helped them get in power are going to suffer under a Christian nationalist theocracy.
100%.
Because they're not just coming for abortion. They are also coming for birth control. Because they want women out of the workplace and at home raising babies. And listen, there is absolutely nothing wrong for women who want to do that with their lives. That is a high calling, beautiful. It's very noble. Yes. I love being a mom.
Right.
But that is what Christian nationalists want for all women, because let's be honest, Tim, women are great in the workforce and they have taken jobs away from men because in a lot of cases, women are more capable than men in certain positions. They just are. And men don't like that. So they want to put women back in the kitchen, back at home, and keep them pregnant so much by taking away their birth control, by taking away their rights, so that they are forced to stay home.
The propaganda goes like this. Feminism forces women to go into the workplace. That's the propaganda. The truth is that feminism is what has given women the choice to either have a career if they want, or to stay at home and be a mom if they want, or do both if they want. It just gives women the choice. The same way that men in the society have the choice. Okay? Mm-hmm. Men have the choice. That's all it's about. It's not about trying to get women to become, more cogs in the machine for capitalism. That's propaganda 100%. Now, what we could say, April, is that if these so-called pro-life, pro-family Christians really gave a shit about those things, they would be the first people to advocate for affordable wages from mega corporations. They'd be the first people to tax the billionaire class who are literally robbing wealth out of the middle and lower class. They would be fighting for a society, right, where a man in their patriarchal view could work one full-time job and the mom could stay home without going into crazy amounts of debt or college debt or student loan debt, etc. So you have to understand how disjointed the propaganda is from the reality of the situation. The same people who tell you that they're pro-family were the ones to vote for the big, beautiful, ugly piece of shit bill that literally robs wealth out of the lower and middle class. And that's not liberal Marxist opinion, Tim, although I'm not a Marxist yet. Maybe one day. We'll see. That is from the CBO, the chief budget, the Congressional Budget Office, a bipartisan group that both Republicans and Democrats cite for their bills. They're the ones telling you this stuff. Yeah. So we have to reject this way of thinking completely because it's illogical. It harms people, especially women and minority groups, and it's built on lies. It's not truth-telling. It's built on lies. So we just have to.
Yep. And there's a lot of Christian nationalists that are also calling for household voting, which would take away women's right to vote.
Totally.
That is
they want women's suffrage. Look, April, I just feel the need to really prove to people that we're not saying extreme fringe things. I was at Turning Point USA's America Fest 2 years ago when someone got on the stage in front of 15,000 people and literally advocated for undoing women's suffrage, and to a round of applause. That's not fringe, folks. That's not some rando on TikTok with 2 followers saying crazy shit. Doug Wilson, who, by the way, Pete Hegseth loves. Pete Hegseth reads the books. Actually, they just planted a church in Washington, D.C. that Pete Hegseth attended recently. Doug Wilson wants to undo women's suffrage and go back to a household vote. We're here. Christian fascism is here. It's embedded in politics. This is what they want. They're coming for a Obergefell. They're coming for women's suffrage. They will dismantle the Constitution. I've interviewed, our organization, the New Evangelicals, has interviewed Doug Wilson. He told us on our podcast he wants Jesus Christ is Lord enshrined in the Constitution before he dies. Can you, white moderate listening to this, please wake the hell up and realize what we're walking into? God, it's unreal.
And when they say Jesus, they're not talking about red letter Jesus of the Gospels. They're talking
No.
about their own Republicanized AR-15 carrying
Yes.
warrior
White.
Christ that
White
is coming
Jesus.
to take names, which is not the Jesus that is described in the Bible at all, but that is the Jesus that they worship. It is
They
not
pull it from Revelation.
one. Yeah.
They completely butcher Revelation, and they read this Jesus who comes back with vengeance, and that's the God that they worship, one that will crucify and kill their enemies. It is Antichrist. It is Antichrist. Can't say it strongly enough.
Okay, we have a few more super chats, and we gotta go. We got a lot.
Sorry, I know. I'm feeling real. We're feeling the energy today, April. Both of us.
I know.
You know?
Okay, Leah Marie Peterson, thank you so much for the super chat. She says they conveniently forget that Mary, the mother of Jesus, was an unwed mother. I mean, so true. A great point. And then a super chat from Faith. Thank you so much, Faith. Okay. A couple other things that we want to discuss, and we really don't have time to go into it in more depth. Maybe we can next week, but we just want to remind everybody that there is an actual genocide still happening in Gaza and Palestine. There are children now starving to death. And Israel the IDF is shooting people as they're in line to get aid. These are things that are happening over there. And it's a really big deal. And I think it's easy to try not to think about because it is so upsetting. I mean, anytime I think about it, I
just want to cry.
Yeah, I mean, it's truly terrible. It is probably like the horror of our day right now that is happening in real time. And we just need to be calling it out, that it needs to stop. We need to stop enabling Israel and what they're doing. And that
Can we just play
I don't really know what to say.
Let's play the Anna Kasparison clip because she has the energy that I think all of us are feeling. I think it's worth it. It's only a minute-long clip. This is her debating someone who's defending the IDF and defending Israel. And I just think this 60-second monologue from her, it just sums up exactly what I'm feeling in my gut and my stomach. And I'll let her speak on behalf of me.
The fact that they shoot at people as they're waiting in line for humanitarian aid. Dozens of people get shot and killed literally every single day. Every single day as they're waiting for food. No, I'm not going to let you filibuster, bitch. I'm not going to let you filibuster. I'm not going to let you filibuster. You guys are totally okay with IDF soldiers shooting and killing desperate people waiting for humanitarian aid. You're okay with that. I find it so unbelievably evil. Unbelievably evil. It shocks my conscience and my soul that people as evil as this exist in this world. Okay? Watching these images, looking at these videos, seeing all these kids, desperate, hungry, parentless, trapped in Gaza. And you're sitting here and you're defending it. I can't stand it. I can't listen to it. The filibustering is unbearable. It's unbearable.
I mean, she sums it up for me. And frankly, you know, I'm all against dehumanization. I'm glad she said bitch. It felt so cathartic. Like, what are we doing? By the way, shout out to Miss Rachel, who now will not work with anyone who has not spoken out about Gaza. Like, that woman is a saint. The work that she's doing for kids in Gaza, raising awareness with her platform of millions of people. Her Netflix show was number 7 viewed of all time on Netflix recently. Jesus, I mean, I wish I had stronger words. I wish my words had more power, because what's happening in Gaza, you know, it's one of those things for me, April, where you look back in world history, you go, how do people let this thing happen? You know, how did the Holocaust happen? How did these acts of human atrocity happen? We're watching it happen now through propaganda. We're watching it happen in Gaza. I mean, the videos, images coming out of children emaciated. Is that the right word? You know, they're starved to death. Their bones are popping out of their skin. Look, I'm a parent. I have 2 kids. You're a parent. A lot of us watching or listening have kids. Imagine holding your newborn as they die from malnutrition. Like, it's just ridiculous that we're letting this go on. And again, I get so angry at the white evangelical world that is too busy talking about Chip and Joanna Gaines than they are about the ongoing genocide of the Palestinians that their theology has helped make possible. Real children are dying for real. There's a hell on earth that exists right now for those people. We feel powerless to stop it. And the IDF has acted in some of the most evil and demonic and vile ways, as they are literally, in some cases, shooting kids in the head via snipers. It's it's just horrible. It's horrible. But we have to keep calling it out. We cannot stop. We cannot be silent in the face of an ongoing genocide. This is way beyond what you think Hamas did or what you think Israel did. There's a conversation to have. Of course, we denounced October 7th. We denounced all of that clearly. We don't want more bloodshed. But at some point, we have to wake up and realize the disproportionate nature of what has happened, and the fact that the Israeli government, and I use those words intentionally, not all Jews, not Jewish people, but the Israeli government has used October 7th as justification to recolonize the land of Palestine in Gaza, driving out the people who live there. That's what they're doing. It's clear as freaking day what they're doing, and they will stop at nothing. And the U.S. is sanctioning it. Our tax dollars are funding the ongoing genocide of the Palestinian people. That happened under Biden, which we denounced him for strongly, and it's happening under Trump. And we have to tell the truth. We have to.
Don't look away. It's just a whole other world over there. And there's a lot of organizations that are raising money for aid. And that's like a practical way to help. Maybe we can find some to put in the show notes. But yeah, I just don't want to forget, there's the news cycle moves so fast, and we're not dedicating an entire show to it, but we just didn't want to ignore the fact that that is still happening. And it's been going on for, gosh, it's been like almost 2 years now.
It's going to be 2 years in October.
Well, the most recent one, the occupation, is a much longer.
Right. Yes. Much longer conversation.
Existence. But okay. And then also, we really don't have time to get into this story either, but there's a lot of abuse happening with immigrants that are being detained here in America as well. Inhumane conditions that are happening in Alligator Alcatraz. Children are now being detained. Immigrants. It's really, really bad. It's not toxically empathetic to feel sadness and to feel despair. That is a very normal human reaction to feel sad when other fellow human beings are suffering for no faults of their own except for being born in the wrong place.
Yep. According to The Guardian, just a quick headline here, migrants at an ICE jail in Miami have been made to eat like dogs in Neal, according to a report. They were shackled with their hands tied behind their back. Conditions at 3 overcrowded South Florida facilities. The incident at the downtown federal detention center is one of a succession of alleged abuses at jails operated by Immigration and Customs Enforcement Agency, ICE, in the state since January, chronicled by the advocacy groups Human Rights Watch, Americans for Immigrant Justice, and Sanctuary of the South. From interviews with dozens of men had been packed into a holding cell for hours and denied lunch until about 7 p.m. They remained shackled with the food on chairs in front of them. We had to eat like animals, one detainee said. Degrading treatment by guards is commonplace in all 3 jails. At the Chrome North Service Processing Center in West Miami, female detainees were made to use toilets in full view of men being held there and were denied access to gender-appropriate care, showers, or adequate food. That's just 2.5 paragraphs in to what is happening across the nation, again, because this is what white evangelicals voted for. We have data that Christian nationalists, their 2 biggest issues that they refused to capitulate on for the candidate of choice was gun control and immigration. And so this is what they voted for. They voted for this situation. And again, I just have to ask these so-called Christians who insist that Trump is the most pro-life, pro-God president in our lifetime. What are you looking at? What Bible are you reading? What red letters are you reading? What the hell? What kind of ideology makes you think that treating anyone like this, especially people who have come here with no criminal record, many of which are trying to go through the legal immigration process, but are stuck because our system is so broken, somehow you are silent on this or you allow it? It is batshit wild to me that we are here, but we are.
Yeah. Yep. This is what Christian nationalism leads to: suffering of fellow human beings that we as Christians are supposed to love.
Yep.
We have a couple more super chats I don't want to ignore. Joseph Compton IV said, "Thanks for all that you guys do." Thank you so much, Joseph. And there's another one: "Somewhere over the rainbow." Can you read
There
that
it
one?
is.
I can't read.
Yeah,
Yeah,
from,
you got it.
Big D. To be alive is a responsibility as well as a right. Well said. Thank you for sharing.
Amen.
Okay.
Okay. In other good news, a judge did just rule to release Kilmar Obrego Garcia, released from criminal custody. I'm not sure if he's actually been released yet, but that's an order. So hopefully he will be free and be able to return to his family. Which I just want to say, protesting works. Calling your senators, calling your politicians. I mean, there was a lot of pressure on the Trump administration to return him home and to get him free. And it took a long time, but it happened. So there's still hope to be had. There's still good things happening. There is still time to stop a complete fascist takeover. It's scary, but it can be done. And I think one of the things, one of the things that I think is going to help undo this Trump regime are the Epstein Files.
Dun, 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 dun.
Dun, dun, dun. It's not going away. Trump really wants it to go away.
Yeah. Yeah, this is a wild situation we find ourselves in, friends. By the way, April, I think I know why I'm so ranty today, because I'm unleashed. I'm not doing 10 other things at the same time. I'm just able to focus on one thing, talking to you.
It's pretty nice, huh?
It is nice on this side of the screen.
It's like weird. Like whenever I would do worship leading, and there'd be some times where like we're doing just the mic stands, I would always feel so naked because I'm used to holding a microphone. I'm like, what do I do with my hands? But then eventually, it's kind of nice, but it takes a minute.
So last Thursday we talked about the Epstein Files, and there was a lot. We already covered the 180 the administration did almost overnight, right? Pam Bondi goes from the files are on my desk, the list is on my desk, to no, nothing to see here. It was crooked Hillary, and it was Obama, and it was the deep state, it was liberals who made this list up. And after we did that, then the Wall Street Journal dropped this bombshell of Trump writing in Jeffrey Epstein's birthday card binder a very cryptic message, and also doodling a naked woman and then using his signature to mimic pubic hair. And then Trump denied that. He said, oh, that's not me, I don't draw. But then we found that Trump does indeed draw and auctions many of them off for charity. So again,
it's actually quite a normal thing he does.
I don't know how we can say it any clearer. Trump is a liar. Like all the man does is lie. So anything he says should automatically be discounted based on his track record. So that all happened. And then yesterday, as we have the whole show prep, right? Okay, great. Show is prep. Big focus is the Jubilee video. Breaking news. Trump in the Epstein Files. I'm like, oh shit. Oh my God. The whole
in the Epstein Files, but he was told. Pam Bondi briefed him back in May. President Trump, your name is in the Epstein Files. And it was after that they were like, reverse course, not going to release it. Nothing else to see here.
It's the liberals' fault. So I do want to be factual here, okay? Because I don't want people to assume that because anyone is automatically in the files, they're automatically incriminated, because the report does say that many people are mentioned for all kinds of reasons. Some are benign, some are not. But again, like, look, we have to, where there's smoke, there's fire, okay? We know that Trump and Epstein were close friends. The message, do you have the message that he wrote in Epstein's book? Do you have it pulled up?
I sure do.
Can you just read this?
Can I? You might just read the end, because the end is what's especially damning.
It's like a conversation, right, between Trump and Epstein.
Yeah.
Read the whole thing. It's only like 4 or 5 sentences.
Okay, hold on. I gotta find it. I found the final.
Let me see if I can find it here.
If you can find it, I have how he signed it, which I think is the most damning thing of it. Here, hold on. Let me open the Wall Street Journal. Yeah, sorry, y'all. We're live. You got it?
No. Yeah, I think I got something here. Let me take a look here.
Dang it.
There's
no paywall.
Why can't I find it?
Okay, well, Trump, Epstein.
I know. I'll do the same thing.
Letter. There's like all these newer articles. Come on, man. Trump, Epstein, and the doodle. Here. Okay. Is this it? Do I have it? Come back. Please let this
I don't know. I gotta
We prepped, but we didn't prep this.
Well, I just
I do have
have
the damning thing that he has at the end. It's just like a
Okay,
conversation
that's
back
fine.
and forth that is fine, I guess. It's weird.
It's weird.
Okay,
It's
so
weird as
he
hell.
includes the phrase, "We have certain things in common." It's like a conversation between Trump and Epstein is what he writes in his letter.
Right.
But he ends it by saying, "Happy birthday, and may every day be another wonderful secret."
Yes. Yes. And again, it's in the context of a naked woman being drawn by Trump.
He drew a naked
Like,
woman. He
yeah,
signed
like,
his name as pubic hair, like on her body.
here's the thing, friends. Even if let's just be really clear, even if Trump never was with anyone underage, which is really disputed now, the fact of the matter is that he is a sexually perverse man, especially by evangelical standards, right? By evangelical standards, this man is incredibly depraved in the way that he talks about women, the way he addresses women, and what he draws to his friends. Like he doesn't meet any metric. And we have such a long list of Trump being accused of watching women undress behind the scenes at pageants, right? We have his own words about grabbing women. We have his own case where he was found liable for sexually assaulting a woman. It's so obvious this man is gross. And these white evangelical leaders really want to gaslight you into believing that this man is being blessed by God to make America godly again. It's shocking. It is shocking. It is 4 years or 10 years later, from the original leaked Hollywood Access tapes, I'm still just as shocked as I was back then of today, of what's happening today. So Trump denies the doodle. Obviously, he doodled. There's also he uses the word enigma in the conversation, and Trump denies that. This is not my language, but of course, Trump does call people enigmas. We have him on record doing that. So it's just so clear that Trump is lying through his teeth, right? And now we know that Pam Bondi briefed him in May that he is in the Epstein Files. And now all of a sudden it's Hillary Clinton's fault.
I think we didn't pull it because we have so many other things. But I just want to read really quickly what Trump said in that Access Hollywood tape when he didn't know he was being recorded. Because the idea that people would be shocked that he's in the Epstein Files is so wild to me because of the countless photos we have of Trump and Epstein. Like, they were friends. Jeffrey Epstein has gone on the record before and said that Trump was like one of his very best friends. Here's what Trump said on the Access Hollywood tape that I thought was going to be the end of his presidential campaign.
Totally.
Because he said, right, quote, he's talking about a married woman. "I did try and F her. She was married." And it goes down and says, "I moved on her like a bitch. I couldn't get there, and she was married. Then all of a sudden I see her. She's now got the big phony tits and everything. She's totally changed her look." And then they go back and forth some. And he said, "I'm automatically attracted to beautiful. I just start kissing them. It's like a magnet. Just kiss. I don't even wait. And when you're a star, they let you do it. You can do anything. Grab them by the P word. You can do anything." That is a direct quote from the President of the United States that Franklin Graham thinks is a good Christian man.
In fact, when that clip came out, I actually have the quote because I did a whole Substack on this. Ralph Reed, president of the Faith and Freedom Coalition, said this: "Voters of faith are voting on issues like who will protect unborn life, defend religious freedom, create jobs, and oppose the Iran nuclear deal. 10-year-old tapes of private conversation with a television talk show host." Dr. James Dobson, founder of Focus on the Family, said, "The comments Mr. Trump made 11 years ago were deplorable, and I condemn them entirely. I also find Hillary Clinton's support of partial birth abortion criminal and her opinion of evangelicals to be bigoted. There really is only one difference between the two. Mr. Trump promises to support religious liberty and the dignity of the unborn. Mrs. Clinton promises she will not." There you go. There you go.
So
there you
stupid.
go.
That's like the only defense that they've ever had. It's like, well, he's better than Kamala. He's better than Joe Biden.
But he isn't, though. But that's the thing. He isn't.
Yeah, he's not. He's not
He's
better.
not.
He's far worse.
He's not better on policy. He's not better on economics. He's not better on integrity. He's not better on truth telling. He's not even better at Christianity. Joe Biden is a devout Catholic, like a devout Catholic. The man attended mass almost every freaking Sunday while inside the Oval Office. He's even a better Christian than Trump. And that's why the gaslighting is so unbelievable. These people you are being gaslit, white evangelicals. You are being sold bullshit. And you're eating it thinking it tastes like Captain Crunch. You're literally lying to yourself. Okay, do we have the clip queued up, Cassidy, of Epstein during his deposition? Again, this clip now is going around viral. I do not, if this was any other politician, especially anyone with
Tim, did Tim freeze for anyone else, or is it just me? Am I frozen? I've lost Tim. Tim, you froze. Am I frozen? Am I still here? I don't know. Make a note to edit this out for the podcast. Okay, I'm here. I'm being told. Tim, I hope you can come back to us. Tim got raptured digitally, I guess. Which video was he saying? Oh, Cassidy, while we're waiting on Tim, why don't we go ahead and play the video that Tim was talking about? Yes, let's just go ahead and play this, and then hopefully Tim will be back before before this clip is done. So for those listening, this is this is a deposition of Jeffrey Epstein, I believe, right? Is this a deposition? I think so. Anyway, this is Jeffrey Epstein talking.
Have you ever had a personal relationship with Donald Trump?
What do you mean by personal relationships?
Have you socialized with him?
Yes, sir.
Yes?
Yes, sir.
Have you ever socialized with Donald Trump in the presence of females under the age of 18?
Though I'd like to answer that question, at least today, I'm going to have to assert my 5th, 6th, and 14th Amendment rights, sir.
Okay. I got a call from Tim during that clip. He said he lost power, and he's coming back. He's on the way. I have a giant text from him that just says stall. So I'm sure he's going to want to rewatch that clip anyway. So sorry about this. I don't know why Tim lost power. I think it's Satan probably attacking him. We'll pull the persecution card. Like Christian nationalists can do it. We can do it too. So there you have Epstein, though. I'm pretty sure he was pleading the 5th, if it's the clip that I remember. That's a very, completely normal response. I feel like that is very damning to show the connection between Trump and Epstein. And I think this might be the thing that could be his kryptonite, honestly. That doesn't mean that we would be out of the woods, because we still would have J.D. Vance, Heritage Foundation, Project 2025, Mike Johnson. Like, Christian nationalism would still be a problem. But if this could be the thing that finally takes Trump down, I do think we are in a better position, only because I don't think there's anybody else in the current MAGA movement that could hold a cult following like Donald Trump. So far, I don't think there's anybody that has the charisma and the stamina that Trump has. For some reason, Trump has a hold on his followers for sure. It is really weird talking by myself. Tim says, stall. I'm trying to stall, Tim. I kind of love the technical difficulties. Makes the show more endearing. Well, I'm glad I'm glad that we could be endearing for you. We're just a couple. This is a look. See, we're just like you. We're just a couple human beings trying to sound like a megachurch pastor. Ugh, so fun. I guess while I'm here, if you haven't yet, you could like our YouTube channel. That would be really help. It helps put us out there. Yeah, let's go ahead and pick another clip to play. So there's also a video of Trump being asked if Bondi had clued him in on any of the Epstein files. Let's just watch that, because Trump blatantly lies based on this most recent information. So let's play this.
Did she tell you, what did she tell you about the review? And specifically, did she tell you at all that your name appeared in the file?
No, she's given us just a very quick briefing, and in terms of the credibility of the different things that they've seen. And I would say that, you know, these files were made up by Comey, they were made up by Obama, they were made up by the Biden, we went through years of that with the Russia hoax, with all of the different things that we had to go through. We've gone through years of it, but she's handled it very well, and it's going to be up to her. Whatever she thinks is credible, she should release. Yeah.
So there he goes, kind of dodging it. Did she tell you anything about a list? And Trump's like, no, she briefly briefed me, and then brings up Obama. You know what? Okay, I just have to say, I don't know if y'all have ever been accused of having Trump derangement syndrome. They literally, MAGA started talking about that back in like 2016. For anyone who doesn't like Trump, oh, you have TDS. Donald Trump has Obama derangement syndrome, just to throw their own words back at them, because they have not stopped talking about Barack Obama ever. They've made him this big boogeyman. Even when Biden was president, they were like, well, Obama's still really in charge behind the scenes, and Biden's just his puppet. Like, y'all, they are obsessed with Barack Obama. That's the actual derangement syndrome, if you want to call it that. And now, I don't know if y'all have seen, Tulsi Gabbard is out here accusing President Barack Obama of treason, pretty much, of saying that him and his Department of Justice lied about Russia interfering with the 2016 election, which has become a very standard fact over the years. It was a bipartisan group of lawmakers that discovered that, yes, Russia did, in fact, interfere with the election, as they've done pretty much every election since. Like, there's all these bot farms that come from Russia. It's an established investigation that has happened. But as a result of all this Epstein stuff coming out, suddenly they're trying to shift the focus to, well, Obama committed treason. That's the real story. So why don't we play the clip of Tulsi bringing up the Obama stuff? It's a news conference. And if we can play that, you can see this. I'm 100% convinced that, one, this is complete BS. There's absolutely no facts to what she's saying. And it is just to distract MAGA conservative people from realizing that Trump is in the Epstein files. It is just a distraction. So let's watch this clip.
Do you believe that any of this new information implicates former President Obama in criminal behavior?
We have referred and will continue to refer all of these documents to the Department of Justice and the FBI to investigate the criminal implications of this.
For even former President Obama?
Correct. The evidence that we have found and that we have released directly point to President Obama leading the manufacturing of this intelligence assessment. There are multiple pieces of evidence and intelligence that confirm that fact.
Ed, go ahead.
Director Gabbard, thank you. So just two questions, but to begin on that. The president yesterday, you've inferred that the former president helped lead a coup. Based on what you now see, do you believe President Obama is guilty of treason?
I'm leaving the criminal charges to the Department of Justice. I am not an attorney, but as I've said previously, when you look at the intent behind creating a fake manufactured intelligence document that directly contradicts multiple assessments that were created by the intelligence community, the expressed intent and what followed afterward can only be described as a years-long coup and a treasonous conspiracy. against the American people, our republic, and an attempt to undermine President Trump's administration.
The Senate Intelligence.
Okay, so there's Tulsi. That was this week, and she's saying that Obama has committed, quote, treasonous conspiracy to make Trump look bad, as if Trump needs any help in that department. Let's go back, though. We have another video of Tulsi from 2018 that I find quite interesting. Cassidy, would you like to play that for us, please?
I think when you're talking about and there's so many, I don't know, I'm kind of going in a few different directions here with these social media giants, how they're being misused to further certain agendas in different ways. But when you're talking about like these Russian troll farms that you mentioned, what is missing from all of the news coverage around this and all of the outrage about how this foreign country is trying to influence our elections, which is wrong and which the American people need to be aware of where this information is coming from, is the fact that and you're saying, why does somebody do that? Well, because this country does want to influence who we're electing, right?
Yes.
Like, oh, we'd rather work with this person. We know that person's not going to be nice to us. The United States has been doing this for a very long time.
Sure.
In countries around the world, both overtly and covertly, through these kinds of disinformation campaigns, not even counting like the outright regime change wars, we're going to physically take you out. And I think it is very hypocritical for us to be discussing this issue as a country without actually being honest about how this goes both ways. So yes, we need to stop these other foreign countries, and Russia's not the only one, there are others, from trying to influence the American people in our elections. We also need to stop doing the same thing in other countries.
Yeah,
So
without doubt.
You can put in pause.
But there's also the question.
Tulsi Gabbard on Joe Rogan back in 2018. There she is admitting that Russia did in fact interfere with American elections. And now she's saying, nope, Obama made it all up to make Trump look bad. And why, if that's true, why didn't Donald Trump talk about all of this stuff back in his first term? He had the DOJ. He was in charge of the Justice Department at that point. They would have been able to know if Obama actually interfered in the way they're claiming now. Why didn't Trump release that back then? So anyway, it's very much a sorry, I don't know what's happening with Tim. Tim says he's trying to get in, and Cassidy says it's doing the thing it did before the show where it won't let him in. I don't know what to do. Also, I do want to also point out that Tulsi Gabbard in the most recent clip, someone said that she looks like a Bond villain. She really does. And he's trying to take over in ECAM is what Cassidy's told me to do. Let me be the first to apologize for our technical difficulties that we are having today. Tim is commenting in the chat right now that he's trapped in like the pre-show or like the behind the scenes green room, for lack of a better term, and can't actually get onto the live. Well, shit happens. What can we say? I think to sum up, we have a lot more we have actually a lot more clips that we haven't got to, and maybe we'll just save those for the next week because it's already 1:32, and we're actually recording another episode this afternoon for Monday, which is going to be our Teen Mania deep dive. But I don't want to skip our weird Christian thing. So I think I'm just going to go ahead and go to that. Unless Tim, weird Christian shit. Great. It's just, everyone's saying it's just the April show today. Woo! Thank you, everyone, for all the encouragement. Yeah, I did say an S word. I do that when I'm stressed and cussing. Let's just do that. Let's watch this. Tim, if you're out there, you can react in the chat, or hopefully you'll just log in. I don't know. Okay. This is from a church that did an Easter play, and they did it Star Wars theme. So it's like a Star Wars themed Easter play, and it is a musical. Let's watch this masterpiece.
A disaster, I got my blaster. I'm a poor youth pastor. What the wook say?
I am your father.
No, you are a liar and the father of all lies. Don't worry, Leia. I have a plan.
No!
Ground control to master loot. Commencing countdown, engines on. Lately I've been playing hard. These intellects shine brighter and brighter, brighter than the stars. It was on to you to show the world that Christ is divine. That's why it's Christ in my rhyme. That's why it's Christ all the time. See, my whole world is around him. He's the life of my life.
I don't know how they fit Jesus existing in the Star Wars universe, but apparently Darth Vader is Satan, because they said, I am your father. No, you are the father of all lies, which is Christianese. That's in the Bible. This is what they call Satan. I have to admit, though, there's something really endearing about dancing stormtroopers. There was something about that really did bring me joy. Although it is cringy that I'm a poor youth pastor. They're taking, that's like double cringe, because not only are they appropriating Star Wars, but they also have a bunch of just mainstream pop songs in there that they're changing the words to somehow be part of this Star Wars universe play. I also love too how you see a frozen Han Solo in the background. Okay, hold on. Tim's calling me. Maybe I can. Tim, I'm putting you on speaker.
Put me on speaker. Am I on speaker?
You're on speaker. What'd you think about that?
I just want to say that was so painful. That was horrible. Especially watching Luke Skywalker fall all awkwardly behind. Oh my God. Painful, terrible. Almost as painful as being locked out of my own show that I co-host with you. Jesus.
Tim, I'm so sorry. Could you not have internet still?
No, I have internet, but for some reason when I click the link to join the stream, it doesn't ring on Cassidy's side to let me in. I think it's because we're logged in on my computer and on hers. But I logged out and tried again, and it's still not working. So, I mean, I could try and take over the stream, but it might ruin the stream, and that would be too much.
You know what?
It could be a disaster.
I think we just take this as a sign from Satan. Call it a day. We're under attack today. Maybe it is today, Satan. Today you win.
Well, it's definitely not God, because
No.
we're definitely on God's side all the time, obviously. So, jeez.
Yeah. We have one more live at least before you go. Someone said in the chat, maybe this was God giving me practice before you leave next month.
Yeah.
Because I'll be alone and hosting.
100%. Okay, well, hey, definitely a good show, April. It was a lot of fun. We got a lot of stuff accomplished, so great job.
Yes, great job. All right, I'm putting you down now, and I will close this out in prayer.
Wait, no, I'm with you.
You want to do it with me? Okay, you're here. Thank you everybody for joining the Tim and April show today. Again, we apologize that Tim got raptured. It's like you're calling us from heaven, Tim. What's it like up there?
It's bad here still. I mean, there's a lot of people John MacArthur. Well, no, he's not here, so I guess that's a plus. Shoot.
Ooh. A hell joke. I don't know how I feel about that. I don't believe in hell, for the record. Yeah, someone's gonna clip that and be like, "See, she's a heretic." Anyway, thank you all for joining us, even though the last 15 minutes was a little chaotic and we did go long and we didn't get to 8 clips that we had ready. So maybe we could save those for next week. Anyway, we hope you all have a great week. Don't forget to like, subscribe, leave us a review on Apple and Spotify, wherever you listen. It's just super helpful. It helps push us out there. Thank you to everyone who gave us super chats. And check us out Monday. We're going to do a deep dive into Teen Mania and Shiny Happy People Season 2. And then we'll be live again next week at 12 p.m. Eastern. And we hope you all have a great rest of your week. You want to say bye, Tim?
Yeah, I'm Tim Whitaker.
And I'm April LaJoy. We'll see y'all next time.
April show.
Yes.
Bye.
Bye. And out.